Often, when somebody visits a new place, they expect to see the beauty and grandeur that is presented in movies and magazines, and they avoid seeing any negativity that a place may hold. This is my grandmother, Marie Jolly, 25 years ago. She was raised Catholic and has always been able to see the good and the bad that a person or place has to offer. There was a man at her church, an older man whose name has been erased over time, who organized student trips to Nicaragua, and the most recent trip came up in conversation. Nicaragua was and still is the second poorest country on the North American continent, and the town he had been in, Condego, didn't have an ambulance. The nearest hospital was some 30 miles away. So she decided to go, uproot herself from the home she had known for so long, and do something to help. It was different, to say the least. Money went farther, people had less, but there was so much more that they had to give.
I was so surprised that after I'd been there for a day or two, I didn't feel like the people were poor at all. And this is supposed to be the poorest country, second poorest country on the North American continent. They have so much to give, and they share everything they have, that by the time you're there for a day, their lives just seem so rich that you don't lack for anything.
But it wasn't all fun, meeting families, exploring, and doing good just by bringing money. There was work to do, hard work, because she arrived right after the Contra War. They couldn't just bring in money because of a trade embargo, so they packed up as many raw materials as they could in big cardboard boxes and brought them along. The village she resided in had nothing, so they contributed to an ambulance, which was nothing more than an old pickup truck. They built houses, taking down sticks and wood and replacing them with sturdy brick. They made outhouses too, and all of this was done with help of people in the village. As Marie said, they didn't do charity work, but they were part of a team with the locals. They stayed in that village and they became a part of it. Now, the house she stayed in was small, but she didn't feel as though she needed the same luxuries that she had back home, like hot water. She was comfortable and happy and among friends, and that was the most important part. As she said, it was always gracious, and when I came home, I found myself on the freeway tearing around, and I thought, isn't this dumb? All that time in Nicaragua, and I didn't have to do this at all. Everybody has what they need, or they walk to the corner market, and there's no tearing around to do things like we do. Now, the woman she stayed with and her, they connected, and when she left after 10 days, she wrote a letter, and she got a response. This back and forth communication lasted, and it was decided that my grandmother would return the next year. And she did return. She returned to the same village for 11 years.
I still write to the woman I lived with for 10 of those 11 years. She's just a sweetheart. I send her money, $20 or $40, 2 or 3 times a year, because that's a lot of money down there. It goes a long way. But she doesn't keep it all. I know she's out buying beans and rice for her mother and other people who don't have it. She's just that kind of person. They're all like that. They share everything they have. It's just amazing. Yeah, I keep in contact. She just keeps me up on what the family's doing.
These are the connections that she made. Connections that literally last a lifetime. She went to Nicaragua long ago, but she never forgot and never will forget how much the people taught her and how much she learned.